Hello everyone, welcome to my lecture. Here in this lecture, I am going to explain some questions in which you have to find out the domain of some functions. 5 questions I have selected randomly, and in all those questions, I will try to explain all the possible states which will be required to find out the domain of each and every question. So let's start. First of all, the first question is this one. The question is given, question number 1. F of x equal to square root of x minus square root of 1 minus x square. As you want to find the domain, first of all we have to decide under what condition this function will be defined. We know that if the term lies under the square root is a negative quantity, is a negative term, then it will be a complex number. That's why the term lies under the square root should be a positive quantity. So we have to write down to define x minus square root of 1 minus x square should be greater than equal to 0, or we can say that x should be greater than equal to square root of 1 minus x square. Also we can easily identify that the value of x should not be equal to 0. The value of x should not be equal to 0. Do you know why? If we consider x is equal to 0, then we will have square root of minus 1. That's why the value of x should be greater than 1, greater than 0. X greater than 0. This is another condition. We have to remember all those conditions which will be required to find the domain, or under which the function will be defined. So in this way, squaring both sides, we will have, as we have to find the domain means we have to find out the possible values of x for which the function will be defined. We have to find out all the possible values of x. So x square should be greater than equal to 1 minus x square. So we can easily say that 2x square greater than equal to 1, or we can easily return conclusion that x square should be greater than equal to half. This one implies the value of x should be less than equal to minus 1 by square root, or the value of x will be greater than equal to 1 by square root. From the condition we have got this one. In the same way, we have to decide that to define the function, this term should be greater than equal to 0 also. Because under this function, one other function is also there, square root of 1 minus x square. To define f of x, this term should be non-negative. Also, we have to write down, here also we write down, suppose this one is x greater than 0, one condition. Okay, also, 1 minus x square should be greater than equal to 0. This one implies 1 greater than equal to x square, or we can say that x square less than equal to 1. This one implies x should lie between 1 and minus 1. So we have got 3 different conditions. So it is known to us, whenever more than one condition we will have to find out domain or range, whatever it may be, we will try to find out their intersection portion. We will try to find out their intersection. Okay, we can easily identify which one will be the answer. We will try to find out the intersection considering a number n. Okay, first of all, minus 1 and 1 is there. It is also given that 0 is there in between them. From this condition, this term should be greater than 0. Okay, and one another condition is given that this should lie between 1 and minus 1, and here it is given that greater than 1 by root 2. Greater than 1 by root 2. Okay, and minus 1 by root 2. So which one is the main intersection portion? That means where we have the answer. Okay, so that means we have got that this is the portion where all the 3 functions satisfy the condition. These are the possibilities of x which will satisfy the main function. That means the value should be lies between 1 by root 2, 1. Therefore, the domain is lies between 1 by root 2, 1. So this is the domain of the first function. Okay, we have got the answer. That means whenever from this question we have to keep the conclusion that how can we find out the domain of each and every function. That is, if more than one option will be there, we will have, then we will try to summarize, we will try to find out the intersection to have the domain of this function. Okay, so in this way, let us try to find out the domain of the other function. Very simple procedure. We try to find the domain of the other one. Okay. So what is the next one? The question is given that. Question number 2. The question is given that f of x is equal to 1 by under square root of x minus x. Very simple. Which is a rational function. We know that to define denominator should not be equal to 0. The expression should not be equal to 0. And as the term is lies in the denominator is under the square root, so we have to write down to define modulus of x minus x should be greater than 0. This expression cannot be equal to 0. Do you know why? If this expression will become 0, that means if this expression will become 0, then it will not define. 1 by 0 is not defined. That's why we have to write down this expression should be strictly greater than 0. You can say that modulus of x greater than x. So observe carefully. This one is always a positive quantity. Under what condition it will be true always? When x is less than 0. When x is less than 0, that is, if we consider any negative quantity in place of x, it will be always true. For any negative real numbers, this statement will be considered as a true statement. That means to define this expression, to define the function, you can say that modulus of x will be greater than x, and this is true for x less than 0. And we know that the value of x is known as domain. There is no any other first condition which we have to say. First of all, conditions are not there to find out the domain. There is only one condition we have got. That's why the domain of f is equal to 0 to infinity. 0 to infinity is the domain. That means if we consider any negative real number in place of x, then it will be considered as a true function. It will be defined. But in place of x, if we consider any other positive quantity, then it will not be defined. For example, you can consider suppose 1. If you consider 1, then it will be 0. 1 by 0 is not defined. For 2, it will be 0. So 1 by 0 is not defined. So in this way, that means the possible value of x, which is known as domain, is 0 to infinity. 0 to minus infinity. This is the domain of the function. So in this way, we try to find out, or we can easily explain all those questions. Okay? So let us try to find out the question of the other one, question number 3. Simple procedures are there. What is the question number 3? The question number 3 is a function which is like under the square root, and it is a logarithmic function. 5x minus x squared by 4. This is a logarithmic function, okay? So it's a logarithmic function. So how can we identify the domain of this function? Very simple procedure. So first of all, as the term or as a square root function, remember to define this term which lies under the square root can never be negative. Can never be negative. That's why we have to, if it's a negative quantity, then it will be a complex number. It will be a complex number. So that's why we have to write down to define log base 10 5x minus x squared by 4 should be greater than equal to 0. This one may be equal to 0, no doubt. But remember, this one should be greater than equal to 0. This expression can never be negative. So we can simplify 5x minus x squared by 4 should be greater than equal to 10 to the power 0. Am I correct? Logarithmic formula. Log a to the base b is equal to 0 means log a is equal to b to the power 0. This is the formula. Log x to the base a is equal to m means x is equal to a to the power m. This is the property. So this one is x is equal to n to the power m. That is n to the power 0. 10 to the power 0. What is the value of 10 to the power 0? 1. So we can say that 5x minus x squared greater than equal to divided by 4. So you can say that 5x minus x squared greater than equal to 4. So we can easily simplify all those questions. So what is the next step? Try to write down all those questions to the left hand side, right hand side. X squared minus 5x plus 4 less than equal to 0. X squared minus 5x plus 4 less than equal to 0. We can easily factorize it. x square minus 4x minus x plus 4 less than equal to 0. This one implies x minus 4, x minus 1 less than equal to 0. This one implies x should lie between 4 and 1. From here we will have this condition, first condition. Again, remember, for in case of any logarithmic function, if we have written log of a to the base b, remember the value of a as well as b should be greater than 0 always. Value of a and value of b should be greater than 0. Okay? That's why we have to write down also 5x minus x squared by 4 should be greater than 0. We cannot find out the logarithmic value of any negative quantity. That's why we have to write down whatever you have to written here, you have written in place of it. This one should be greater than 0. That is a positive quantity. Okay? So we can easily write down as this one is positive, this expression is positive means what? Both of them either should be negative or both of them should be positive. Out of this expression, we have got that 4 is a positive quantity. It is greater than 0 means what? This one is a positive quantity. We have got that 4 is already positive. Then the main rule, main equality rule will be played by 5x minus x square. This one should be greater than 0. This one implies that x common, 5 minus x should be greater than 0. This one implies x minus 5 should be less than 0. This one implies x lies between 5 and 0. This is the second condition. So as we have got two different conditions, so we are trying to find out the intersection. So what is the main step? One is here, 1 is 4, another is 0, 5. This one is 5 and this one is 0. So which one is the common portion? Already you have gotten. Initially we have got this one interval and second one we have got this interval. Our basic intersection portion is 1 to 4. Therefore here for this question, domain of f is equal to 1 to 4 is the domain. In this way, we have to write down the domain of symmetric function. That means whenever more than one condition arises, we will try to find out the intersection. Here in case of logarithmic function, this is the main important thing that the value of f should be, the value of s should be strictly greater than 0. This one can never be equal to 0 also. Okay. So let us try to find out the domain of the other question. Question number 4. What is the next one? Question number 4 is the same way. It is given that 1 by log of 10, 1 minus x plus the square root of x. We will try to find out in a systematic way. First of all, for the first function, this is the first function and this is the second function. That is, f of x is a sum of two different functions. Or you can say it is y is already given. Y is sum of two different functions. Suppose this one is f of x, this one is f of x, and this one is g of x. So first of all, we will try to find the domain of f of x. Domain of f of x. Okay. So to define this function, the denominator should not be equal to 0. That means you can say that log of 10, 1 minus x should not be equal to 0. Or it is applying the logarithmic formula, 1 minus x should not be 10 to the power 0. That means we have got that 1 minus x should not be equal to 1. This one implies x should not be equal to 0. First terms. Also you can say that this expression should be greater than 0. Am I correct? It is known to you. This expression should be greater than 0. Also, here also you can say right now. Also, 1 minus x should be strictly greater than 0. This one implies 1 greater than x. Two different conditions we have got for this one. Then what is the domain of this function? X should not be equal to 0 and x should be greater than, x should be less than 1. Okay. In the next case, for this function, we know that as the expression lies under the square root, to define g of x, x plus 2 should be strictly greater than equal to 0. To be greater than equal to 0, that means x greater than equal to 2. So let us try to summarize. Let us try to find out the intersection of all those concepts. First of all, x should not be equal to 0. X is strictly greater than, by x is less than 1, or x is greater than equal to 2. So let us put it here. This one is 0, this one is 1, and this one is 2. X is greater than equal to means this one. X is less than 1. X is less than 1. X is not equal to 0. That means what we have got? Is there any intersection quotient for both the function? No. The domain of the first function f of x and the domain of the second function g of x, there is not any intersection quotient. For the function g of x, it is greater than equal to 2, and for this one, it is less than equal to, it is less than x, not equal to 0. So that's why whenever you have to find out the domain, you have to find out the intersection. Here, we have to write down about the domain is like that. No mistake somewhere, I think so. Here it should be minus 2. So let us summarize this. How can we write down the answer? The answer will be like that: x greater than equal to minus 2. Suppose minus 2 is here, x greater than minus 2. And here what it is given? X is less than 1. Suppose 1 is here, x is less than 1. Okay, but 0 should not be here. Suppose this one is 0, 0 should not be here. Then how can we write down the answer? The answer will be less than 1 greater than 0. Then the intersection portion is this one. That means close to the minus 2 comma 1. 1 is open interval minus 8 of 0. If you observe carefully, for the function g of x, this is the domain. And for this one is the domain, but 0 is not there. But what is the intersection portion? This portion is the intersection portion. But 1 is open. Minus 2 comma 1 open interval, minus 0 should not be considered. So that's why this is the domain of this function. Is it clear? So in this way we have to find out the domain of this function. Okay, let us try to find out the domain of the other function also. Let us try to find out what is the domain of the last one. So domain of question number 5, y is equal to this one, log of 10 3 minus x by x. Same way, the function is lies under the square root, so we have to write down log of 10 3 minus x by x should be strictly greater than equal to 0. Greater than equal to 0. This one implies 3 minus x by x greater than equal to 10 equal to 0. This one implies 3 minus x by x greater than equal to 1. Okay, in this way we can easily try to solve or try to simplify or we have to simplify in this way 3 minus x by x minus 1 greater than equal to 0, or you can say that x 3 minus x minus x greater than equal to 0. This one implies 3 minus twice x by x greater than equal to 0. It is known to you that here the x should not be equal to 0. X should not be equal to x should not be equal to 0. That's why we can say multiply the numerator and the denominator by that quantity, non-zero quantity. So we will have x into 3 minus twice x by x squared greater than equal to 0. Correct? So as the expression is greater than equal to 0, so this one is squared. We can easily say that this one is a positive quantity, but we have to keep the answer that x 3 minus twice x should be greater than equal to 0. Okay, so we can write down x twice x minus 3 less than equal to 0. This one implies x minus 3 by 2. This one implies what is the domain? Do you know what? X less than equal to 3 by 2 greater than equal to 0. First condition. Again, we can easily generalize 3 minus x by x. 3 minus x by x is strictly greater than 0. Have you got it? So in this way we can we can easily cross multiply. Here we can easily simplify. Here we can find the answer like that. 3 minus x greater than equal to x. So 3 greater than equal to twice x. So twice x less than equal to 3. This one implies x less than equal to 3 by 2. First one. And second one, to define 3 minus x by x should be simply greater than 0. So x into 3 minus x by x square greater than 0. If this one is already positive quantity, so x into 3 minus x greater than 0. This one implies x minus 3 less than 0. This one implies x lies between 3 and 0. This is the second condition. So how can we generalize? This one is 1.3. If I write on the number n, this one is 0, this one is suppose 3 by 2, and this one is 3. What is given? X less than x is less than 3 by 2. Definitely this one is answer, and 4 is the answer. So then what is the domain? The domain is 0 to 3 by 2. Should I do close interval? So this is the domain. In this way, we try to find the domain of each and every function. Each and every function which is there. Maybe log is there, maybe square root, maybe cube root, maybe fourth root, whatever it may be, you can easily find out the domain of each and every function. So thank you so much. I hope you are getting my point. Thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you.